Hello, welcome to the Forbidden Land podcast. This is episode 60. Um so let's get all the small stuff out of the way first. TikTok and UMG have a new deal. Ooh, you get to listen to Ice Spice again on TikTok. Moving on. Um Something about Dan Schneider suing the Quiet on Set producers. I don't care about any of this. Uh because I don't know why I just closed my dock. Because this is why I don't care about any of this. I think I'm tired of seeing people be beat and shot at by uh, uh, Zionists and police. And if you've been under a rock for the last week, you might be going, "Oh, what do you mean, Dane? What do you mean?" I mean the encampments on all the campuses. It's people who are setting up encampments to peacefully protest and you know what? Fuck that. I'm tired of saying peacefully protest because we established this during the George Floyd protests and during many other protests since, that the whole concept of a quote unquote peaceful protest, it's terminology to manufacture an excuse to violently brutalize these people instead of maybe hearing them out. When things get unruly, they get out of unruly and they get out of hand and violent, it's because the people that are protesting are recognizing that what they're doing isn't working as well as it should, and it shows the urgency of what they're protesting. And whenever you see white supremacists protesting, it's always because they're fed a bunch of lies, and then they go, "Oh, we got to protect ourselves," and it's always out of self-interest. These protests are some of the most selfless organizing acts I've seen. It is people who don't want us to keep funding the mass killing of an entire ethnic group halfway across the planet. It's that they don't want us to keep aiding in this. They're calling for the US to call for a ceasefire, calling for the UN to call for. I mean, the UN has already tried to call for a ceasefire so many times at this point. The main obstacle is the United States. And so right now they're on campuses forming encampments to protest. Now, let's get it straight what a protest is. A protest is not you stand on the sidewalk with your white picket sign and you're like, "I don't like this thing," and people walk by you and ignore you. If that was the case, there wouldn't be a need for protests. Protests are meant to make you uncomfortable. They're meant to make the ruling class uncomfortable, make the ones who feel safe at the top feel unsafe, that their position might be threatened if they don't act. And what do I mean by that? I mean their spot at the top won't be protected by a ruling class of governing people if those governing people are not able to govern, if they're being threatened by the constituents. So, people, when they're like, "Oh, if you block traffic," when you protest, you shouldn't block traffic, And then, every MLK Day, they're like, "We love Martin Luther King." Don't realize that a lot of the tactics MLK used were like walking in traffic, blocking roads, and then they go, "Oh, don't block traffic." You shouldn't be surprised when a police officer fires a rubber bullet at you. And it's like, no, actually, you should be surprised if that happens. Because what have you done at that point to provoke police? Growing up, being so young and naive, I was never afraid of police. Ever since 2020, I have fully understood the scope of what a threat police are to the safety of normal, everyday people. They're scary, dude. And I mean, I have videos loaded up. I'm not even sure if I can show them because of how insane they are, how violent they are. Here's them firing less than lethal munitions into a crowd. Who's attacking them right now? Is it A, no one, B, no one, C, nobody, or D, nobody? Look, he's even kind of smiling while he's doing it. Look at this guy. I mean, look at that. What is the point of what they're shooting at? Like, who are they shooting at and why? You know?
For your safety. For your safety.
No, you can hear them, right? Why are you doing this? Nobody's attacking you. Why is he firing? Who's charging at them right now? And then that brings us to this video. Where they're breaking into the encampment. Sorry, I don't know if you could hear me over the audio. Where they're breaking into the encampment.
Get back!
And to those who are going to go, oh my god, he threw water at the cop. Be real. Give me a fucking break. Be so fucking for real. Seriously. What threat do these protesters pose to the cops? They pose threats in ideology towards the people who pay those cops. Or, you know, not the people who pay them, the people who are in charge of where our money goes. That they take our money and pay those cops. That's who's threatened in that situation, are the people higher up who determine where all that funding goes. I mean, seriously, what threat do these people have? And it's not just police. It's people who are very pro-Israel. Like, very pro-Israel, who are going in and then provoking violence. There was an encampment, I want to say it was UCLA, I can't remember for sure, so don't quote me on that, where a group of counter-protesters came in who were pro-Israel and just started beating people in the encampment. What did the police do? Nothing. Why would they? So yeah, I'm so over this whole thing. You know, 40,000 people plus have been ruthlessly killed in the Gaza Strip so far in the last 7 months, 8 months almost. And for the people going, oh, well, Hamas shouldn't have. Hamas what? When have I ever condoned? When has anybody ever condoned that Hamas killed 1,200 people in Israel? Is the moral response to just start aimlessly carpet bombing 40,000 innocent people in Gaza? I mean, is that really the answer? And to conduct constant raids on the West Bank, which Hamas has no involvement in, by the way. I mean, what is our debate here? I constantly see this question asked all the time, you know, or not even really a question. White people being like, oh, I would have been against slavery in the 1800s, or I would have been on the right side of history during the civil rights movement. Would you have? Would you have? Because if you're not on the right side of history on this one, I don't think you were on the right side of, I don't think you would have been on the right side of history in the other ones. In fact, our president is so old, I don't even have to wonder if that scenario's true. Our president's so old, he used to collaborate with white segregationists to keep schools segregated after integration was started. You know, he has openly supported the people that were against MLK. He did not support the Vietnam War protests. He voted to send us to Iraq, which, I mean, realistically, you can say that about 99% of the people in Congress who were in the chambers at the time. When will Biden... I don't know if I said Obama or not at the beginning of that. I feel like I might have. I don't remember. I don't know why we ever expected Biden to ever change his mind on this. Is this breaking news or is it old as fuck? Ukraine strikes an oil refinery. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Oh my god. So here's Bernie Sanders. Or actually, before I get to Bernie, here's all the clips I've gotten of Biden at the moment. Here's what he said about the protests.
So let me be clear. Peaceful protest in America. Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is. It's against the law when violence occurs. Destroying property is not a peaceful protest. It's against the law. Vandalism, trespassing,
I want you to think about this. That... God, these fucking earbuds are pissing me off. I want you to think about this. Biden has said more about the destruction of property during these encampment protests than he has about the 40,000 Palestinians that have been murdered at the hands of Israel. I mean, if this isn't a more perfect, if this isn't the perfect picture of what the ruling class in this country cares about. We are the only I know I'm stumbling over my words a lot, but we are the only major country in the free world, whatever that means, that has not taken any useful action against Israel. Even the UK has done us a favor and gotten the fuck out of the way in the UN when it comes to these votes. Instead of voting no on every resolution, they're just like, you know what? We're out. We're not going to take a side on this one. That's infinitely more favorable than the U.S. blocking every UN vote or vetoing everything, or, you know, saying Israel has the right to eat all of our asses, apparently. I mean, we might as well make them immune to international law, because they are. However, I don't know how much longer that's going to last, because the International Criminal Court has been floating around the idea of arresting Benjamin Netanyahu. Dude, sign me up where I can apparently murder like thousands of people and just get away with it. I mean, or commit literally any crime I want, break any international law I feel like, and just get away with it. I mean, where can I sign up for that job? Am I right? Holy shit. Apparently all it takes is being elected to some kind of office where you're important. And then you can do whatever you want.
Breaking windows, shutting down campuses, forcing the cancellation of classes and graduation.
No. Not the classes and graduation. Oh no. Oh, what are we gonna do? Fuck. You remember those George Floyd protests? I mean, God forbid people couldn't get their Wendy's cheeseburger. You know, oh, people are protesting a matter of police brutality and civil rights. Oh, but I can't get my Dave's double. Fuck, that's the greatest injustice here. A broken window or a 4-year-old being killed by an Israeli bomb. What's the bigger deal here? Honestly, I didn't get to go to class. Oh. They broke my window. You see how ridiculous it is when I frame it like that? But that's what the subtext here is. They care more about a building being damaged than they do about all the 15,000 plus children that have been flattened by bombs. Think about it. I want to propose a scenario because then people are going to start to argue, well, why doesn't Hamas just give back the hostages? Let's say a group of criminals take hostages in a bank. Should we just start like killing people outside the bank as a negotiation tool? You know, instead of a ceasefire with the Hamas, I guess, and then negotiating the release of the hostages, and then after that you pull the fuck out of Gaza and don't come back. Leave them alone. Because I think we're forgetting here that Gaza was an occupied space by Israel by force. You know, they didn't really have much sovereignty in the first place. So let's say that, you know, let's say that the next time somebody takes a bank hostage, we just start killing people outside the bank and then hope that the bankers go, ugh, they are killing random people outside that didn't do anything wrong. Maybe we should give them back what they want. Interesting. And let me continue the video.
None of this is a peaceful protest. Threatening people, intimidating people, instilling fear in people is not peaceful protest. It's against the law. Dissent is threatening people, intimidating people, instilling fear in people is not peaceful protest. It's against the law. Dissent is essential to democracy, but dissent must never lead to disorder or to denying the rights of others so students can finish the semester and their college education.
Like I've been saying, guys, protest isn't making people uncomfortable to put pressure on those in power to make change. Protesting is when you get the hell out of the way, you accommodate everyone's feelings, you treat them all nicely, you give them little pats on the back. Somebody comes up to you and goes, fuck you, I don't agree with your cause. You go, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. You know what? Yeah, I'll stop. I'm so sorry. Oh, you can just easily ignore me? Oh, yeah. I mean, that was kind of the purpose of my protest. I'd hate to be arrested for being even a little loud. Or maybe breaking a window. Oh. My patience is so thin with all of this. I'm so sick of it. People were trying to say the same stuff during the George Floyd protests. And it's like, I mean, come on now. I'm getting all wrapped up in this thing. People are saying the same thing during those protests, and it's like the fact that y'all are surprised that they're walking on an interstate and blocking traffic. How else are they supposed to get stuff done? the people complaining, it's like your complaints are what pretty much fuels the change. Because you going, traffic, if it didn't work, they wouldn't do it. If they blocked traffic and you were like, okay, they wouldn't do it. So yeah, here's a couple fucking articles about the protests, and for some reason his administration keeps letting him open his mouth. He condemns the protest against Israel, but by the way, these headlines are so vague and whatnot. He's condemning the fact that they're protesting the innocent killing of thousands of civilians in the first place. He doesn't give a damn if people protest a ceasefire, like protest against a ceasefire. He doesn't care. He's not going to call for one. I know his social media team keeps putting it in the captions, and he keeps saying that the only roadblock to a ceasefire is Hamas. Like, we already know that's not true at this point. They did have a ceasefire a few months ago. It was working, and then Israel decided, yeah, it's over. Sorry, guys, we really need to meet our murder quota.
Mr. President, have the protests forced you to reconsider any of the policies with regard to the region?
No. Thank you.
Mr. President, do you think the National Guard should...
Mr. President?
See why I don't... I mean, we're cooked. This election's cooked. He's not winning. I've already accepted that. I mean, I said months ago I'm not going to vote for him. But, like, I think he's cooked on a national scale. I think it's more than just me. And a few others. Oh, here's some good stuff. William C. Sun on Twitter. In his letter from Birmingham jail, MLK Jr. told us the white moderate, quote, is more devoted to order than to justice, end quote. And said this as someone who, quote, prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, end quote. And then he goes on. And yeah, MLK was always warning us about the white moderate. I mean, let's remember here what happened after the Civil Rights Movement and why you don't ever hear about MLK between the end of the Civil Rights movement, end of it. It was still going. It's just after the Civil Rights Act is passed, history classes are like, it ended. But between that period and his assassination, there is a period of time that happens in between there. He was, still fighting for reparations and a lot of other things that pertain to civil rights, but also fighting the Vietnam War. MLK was an anti-imperialist, pretty much far left, if not socialist, which if a Republican said that on the House floor, you'd be like, whoa, because it sounded like he's demonizing him. Let's be real. That word is so demonized. He wanted reparations and he wanted an end to the war that we were participating in Vietnam. And what happened to him when he started protesting the Vietnam War? The white moderate, who some of which might have supported him in the civil rights movement, the liberals who might have supported him during the civil rights movement, all turned on him. Hence why the FBI felt the need to, years later, assassinate him. I mean, you think he did the civil rights movement, the FBI sat on that for years and then finally went, let's kill him. No, there was a reason. He was very outspoken against the Vietnam War. So here's Bernie Sanders on the Senate floor.
Just the CNN and maybe some of my colleagues here, maybe take your cameras just for a moment off of Columbia and off of UCLA. Maybe go to Gaza and take your camera and show us the emaciated children who are dying of malnutrition because of Netanyahu's policies. Show us the kids who have lost their arms and their legs. Show us the suffering that is going on. Oh, I suggest...
I don't know if it's like a loyalty to party or something, But Bernie Sanders just like refuses to acknowledge that this isn't just Netanyahu's policies; it's also the U.S.'s. Benjamin Netanyahu is very responsible for the conflict between Israel and the people in the Gaza Strip. That's already like a very well known fact about this entire conflict. Benjamin Netanyahu was caught, funneling money in briefcases to Hamas. He's propped up Hamas as Israel's number one enemy. He's been responsible for facilitating a lot of the current conflict. But the U.S. has backed Israel every step of the way. We've funded it. We've backed it up. We've defended them on the world stage. I don't understand how Israel is at all important enough to the U.S. that we're willing to compromise what little of a decent world image we still had left. Why we're willing to compromise that. I just don't get it. Why are we still funding and defending the people being not even the people, the country being branded as child killers? And this is literally Benjamin Netanyahu is like Trump on steroids. His administration is like the Trump administration on steroids. And honestly, Trump's next term will probably be even worse than Netanyahu's current reign as prime minister. Nice. I don't know how I was gonna fuck that up, but that whole government over there is corrupt to all hell and incredibly right-wing authoritarian and fascist. Do I think a far-left party in Israel will take over anytime soon? Not really. Do I think a liberal one might? It could. Do I think the liberal one will stop the bombings? I think they would maybe do the ceasefire part. I don't think they would unoccupy the territories. I think that part of the I think that's too ingrained and intertwined with the Israeli government and the history of Israel. I think it's just too. I mean, it's been 70 years. I don't think any liberal party is going to be changing that anytime soon. It's just how the government there has operated this entire time. They've always occupied these regions. Not always, but they definitely had a mission towards it. And they're not going to let go of that. They're not going to unoccupy the West Bank because of how many settlers now illegally live there. Illegally on an international scale. Live there. They're not going to... They might unoccupy Gaza if it isn't already flattened and captured by the time that they are able to push all of the Palestinians out. One thing I was going to point out is that we're seeing basically the sequel to the Israeli version of the Trail of Tears, that a nationalist government, I don't know, would they be called white nationalists? Because there's not, maybe, because like not the entire country of Israel is all that white. I don't know what you would call it. Because, America's very white supremacist, and we're majority white here. I don't know what you would call it. Let's just say a government that is a bit fascist and very racist is trying to shove an entire group of Palestinians who have been living on their land this entire time, shoving them off the land that they own, and then colonizing it, pretty much. That's what we did here. That's what England and Israel did, and the Nakba. So I'm very doomer about this. I'm very doomerism brain about this. I don't have a lot of hope for it. I don't even know if I can continue the episode much longer than 30 minutes, because this is the only topic I brought to the table. All the other topics pale in comparison to this because they're useless. They're dumb. They're distractions. And so, I don't know. Right now, I don't have any further news about the Iran, the Iran-Israel stuff. They haven't done anything in the last couple weeks. there haven't been any more. There hasn't been any more provoking or anything on either side. Oh, they just made Lego Star Wars: The Clone Wars free on Prime. There's some positive news. So, I guess. Oh, I guess yesterday the House passed H.R. 6090. Oh my god, that number. Which expands the definition of anti-Semitism to include criticism of Israel. I saw that. Not only is that act probably a violation of the First Amendment, which, you know, I wish an anti-Semitic act wouldn't be, because I think it's, you know, if we were like Germany, this country would be better off for it, where we outlaw anti-Semitic speech, you know, because Germany has all those laws in place so another Nazi party doesn't rise. But we can't do that here because it's First Amendment protections. But that's not what this act does. It makes it very clear that Israel is basically being regarded as the hub and main think tank of all Jews, apparently. I mean, that's how it makes it seem, that Israel is just the country representation of Jewishness or Judaism, and that any critique of that would be anti-Semitic, which is insane. I want that same standard applied to Iran. Iran is a fundamentalist Islamic state. Should I not be able to criticize Iran without being Islamophobic? Would that be hate speech if I criticize Iran? I'm obviously not criticizing Muslims, so why would I be criticizing Jews if I'm criticizing Israel? Not every Jewish person lives in Israel. Not everybody in Israel agrees with what the government there is doing. It's just like America. You criticize the American government, you're not criticizing everyone in America. So, you're also not criticizing Christians, because we very obviously want to brand ourselves as a Christian nation. It's just so stupid. It's so unbelievably stupid. I love that. Wow, even even Christofascists. I butchered how you're supposed to say that. Even they even they're against this. For dumb reasons, dumb anti-Semitic religious reasons. But like, the whole point of this is to give police an excuse to arrest people in these encampments. Yeah, anti-Semites are already running wild with this, because they're insane. And then leftists are pissed because it's very obviously a loophole. Oh yeah, this is horrible. It's also disgusting, like, you see how often Jewish people show up at these encampment protests, and there are still people like calling them anti-Semitic, and it's like, I feel like that word is getting so lost in the sauce. Anti-Semitism is when you hate Jews, is when you say horrible shit about Jews, when you generalize them, stereotype them. It's basically racism, but it's more targeted towards one group. So, you know, calling Jewish people who oppose the apartheid in Israel and oppose the genocide anti-Semitic is insane. All right, I'm done. Into the episode. I'm done. I have nothing else to say. Actually, this might just be the bonus episode if I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think I'll just make this the bonus episode on Patreon. I think it's just too ranty, and I don't want my words to get twisted, so. And I don't have the power to fight people on it, so. This is the bonus episode. All right. Hello, welcome to the Forbidden Podcast number 60. This is my second attempt at this episode. My first episode was all political, and then I was really thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it the bonus episode. So it's now the bonus episode on the Patreon. But I really didn't have much planned this week. So I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell, maybe think of a few things to say, and then I'll probably cut it off early just because I really don't have much to talk about outside of the thing I already talked about on the bonus episode. So yeah. How's this? So I have some funny little videos to show you. This is like an old school podcast episode where I would just bring a bunch of videos to show on the screen. Yeah, look at this. These videos are so good.
Oh, spiders! Spiders! Get 'em off me!
Now, what's interesting about this video is the artistic intent behind it. See, Patrick really wants the spiders gone, as this user implies. And he thinks there's spiders under his rocks, so he does this.
Oh, spiders! Spiders! Get 'em off!
And then all of a sudden, the morphine kicks in. And I think this is a really interesting look into, our culture and what we really think about spiders under our rock. You know what I mean? I'm losing my mind this week. I'm telling you. I have so many of these. I believe this guy's making all of them.
I've rounded up a search party. SpongeBob's gone missing.
Oh, I actually want to save that one. So we'll do this one instead.
Solitude in E minor.
Yeah! E minor! Alright, yeah!
I love these videos. Oh my god, wait, this one's my favorite.
Oh, there once was a Sandman.
Oh yeah, this is another good one. So we're gonna go in order. So we have this guy. Oh,
What's up, you little distinguished gentlemen? Oh, who you winking at? Winky. Winky. Hey, son. What's up, you little distinguished gentlemen? Winky. Hey, son. What's up, you little distinguished gentlemen? Winky. Hey, son. What's up, you little distinguished?
these videos are so good, right? I'm really glad I brought you guys here to watch these. We're gonna go to this one next.
He's number 10. We got Goopoo Loopoo. He's hella funny. Then we got Stoopoo Doopoo. What a goat. Then we got Goopy. He's a menace. Don't let his appearance fool you. Then we got TJ Crean. What a beast. Then we got Mr. Denmark. Love him.
I'm so tired. I don't want to do this episode. If it wasn't obvious, this is the downfall of the podcast, that I simply don't want to do this episode because I'm so fucking tired. The last time I did an episode this tired, I regarded it as one of my worst episodes, and I've honestly considered deleting it all the time. It was the one where I was like half asleep listening to airplane noise, and I was falling asleep actively while talking about my church experiences. Here, let's talk about something so cool and interesting and self-centered. Totally not stupid. Let's talk about numbers. Nobody likes anything more than numbers, and we got them. Trust me on that one. So I've been doing Minecraft modded for about a month and a half so far. And it's doing pretty well. People are watching. People are engaged. We did the first episode at the end of March. It is now the beginning of May, and I'm still going somehow. I did this throughout all of April. Wild. When will I stop the series? I don't know. When will I stream Apex again? Don't know. I do stream sometimes on Twitch. Let's move on to the numbers for the podcast. Fine. I have done a few new things. I will be a little serious for a moment. I've changed the way that I do the thumbnails. I don't upload video to Patreon anymore. I've very much streamlined the process of uploading everything and making thumbnails. Making the actual podcast is so difficult for some reason. And that's due to my inability to focus on something and to find something I want to talk about. Like, you would think I would write it down, or I'd have something on my mind. Nope, I have nothing to write down. Let's see, what did I write down the last few? Nothing. Oh, the TikTok thing that I wrote down that I already did last week. I've talked about Google Podcasts being dead so many times now. That's the other thing in my notes all the time. I could mention that YouTube Music sucks as a podcast platform, apparently. I'll also talk about how VPN by Google One is being killed off in December. That's pretty interesting. I actually pay for Google One. You get 100 gigs of Google Drive storage for only $2 a month. I think that's pretty cool. It's definitely more than the 15 gigs they give you for free. That's the only benefit I've seen to having Google One. Outside of their horseshit-ass VPN. This thing going away, not a huge loss. $2 a month gets you about the kind of VPN you think it's going to get you. Plus, I wouldn't trust a VPN from a major data collecting and data selling corporation anyways. So, I'm pretty sure they'd rat your ass out in an instant if they really had to. God. I really don't have much to talk about. My shirt's green. You know what I could talk about? Some shows. And by some, I mean the one that just ended. I'm writing it down. So I can remember it for the next 5 minutes. The Bad Batch just ended. I could talk about that. I was actually going to talk about that, and I cut it from my topic list. Why? I don't know. So let's talk about The Bad Batch. So The Bad Batch came out 3 years ago. You know what? Actually, let's start by talking about The Clone Wars. The Clone Wars is a goated-ass show. The best Star Wars show, honestly. Has some duds here and there. Overall, pretty good. I actually take it back. Andor is better. Only because it's shorter and every episode's a banger. That's its advantage. I'm sure if it also had over 100 episodes, it would have some real dull moments as well. But anyways, The Clone Wars, great show. Season 7, a banger, except for the... Ooh. Oh no, my earbud. Can I stop getting wrapped up in wires? This is why we eliminated these. Season 7, banger season, except for the middle 4 episodes. Those were a bit of a drag. The Bad Batch arc, pretty decent. I think the last 2 episodes were a little redundant. and did feel a little lazily put together sometimes. But overall, good arc. Siege of Mandalore is probably the best Clone Wars arc out of all of them outside the Mandalore arc before that, when Maul gets captured by Palpatine and Satine is killed. And those two arcs are about on par with the Umbara arc as well. Peak television. That leads us to the Bad Batch. So the Bad Batch is this is insane looking. I'm gonna break this mic arm on accident. So the Bad Batch is pretty good. Has a lot of dull filler moments. Season 1, I think, is okay, except no, actually season 1's good. I liked that they brought in Crosshair as much as they did. I liked what the episodes were about. I liked that it was establishing the Bad Batch's methods for evading the Empire, established that they had to work for a bounty commissioner pretty much to be able to eat and avoid the Empire. Season 2 has a lot of filler. I think my least favorite parts were anything with Sid, oddly enough. I think those were just kind of boring. I think all the stuff with I think the introduction episode for the pirate woman who ends up becoming Tech's love interest, I think the introduction episode for her is a little weak, but everything with her after that is pretty good. I think all the Crosshair episodes are like perfect. And I liked the ending part of the season. Spoiler alert, Tech's death is super depressing. So we have season 3. I liked that it started out kind of dark, because now there's only 2 members of the original Bad Batch left at that point, that are still fighting as a squad. I like how serious Wrecker is. Somebody did a really good video essay talking about Wrecker's character development. How he goes from being like a childlike man-child who's willing to goof around and everything and be immature, to a mature, cautious, mundane, like toned down version of his old self, more mature. They made a really good character analysis of that. I liked all the stuff with Crosshair. How do I make it where I'm not just listing everything that happens in the show? The peak of the 3rd season comes from when Omega surrenders herself and Crosshair misses the shot. So then the Batch have to go and capture Rampart. Then they have to dock onto a shuttle that's leaving a station off Coruscant. Then they gotta infiltrate the base on Tantus. Peak set of episodes. That's what? 4 episodes? 5. That's 5 episodes total. Omega being captured, Rampart rescue, a capture or something like that. Docking on the ship off Coruscant. Tantus. Yeah, about 5. Pretty good. I would give the first season like a 7 out of 10, the second season a 5, and I'd give the last season probably a 7.5. Really don't have much this week. I'm only 15 minutes in, dude. Oh, we're cooked. I might do an Apex stream soon. Give myself a break from Minecraft. Kind of do my usual shenanigans, but it's on Apex. I still haven't finished the battle pass. I'm still level 109. So I'll probably finish it after this episode. Either next week or the week after, depends. We will be doing a guest episode with a friend of mine. This week she had to postpone for personal reasons. So, hence why the impromptu episode. I had no idea what I was going to talk about. So next week, we will... Next week or the week after, or whenever she's able to. I'm not going to pressure her into doing an episode. Then we'll have a guest episode with her. God, I have nothing to talk about. Imagine if I uploaded a 16-minute episode. Crazy. I just don't have anything to talk about. Oh, and if you're wondering, I'm not going to show you the last Instagram video. That's the joke, is I'm going to torture you with the thought of what could it have been? I guess I'll talk about this since I brushed past it in the bonus episode. That Universal Music Group is putting all their music back on TikTok. What were the terms behind that agreement? Oh, with AI protections? That's what was holding it up? Seriously? Is that why they were taking all the music off the platform? Oh, that's stupid. Huh. That was kind of dumb. And it took them like 4 months to fix that? Stupid. I don't want Copilot. Ay, ay, ay. Whoa. Is Asmongold having a full right wings flip? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a minute. Is Asmongold having a full-on heel turn? What is wrong with him? Oh my god. Interesting. Sorry I'm not talking much. I'm reading right now. Try to figure out what I'm about to say next, because this is interesting. Mm. All right, I'm gonna show this clip of useless fucking dog shit senator. Here, let's go. Queued up.
We're here to discuss the little Gazas that have risen up on campuses across America.
God, white people just say anything that comes to mind, huh? Who in his fucking... Look at this little fucking worm. Necromancer bullshitist. Who on his staff allowed him to say this? Also, he's the youngest person on stage, and that's not saying much.
We're here to discuss the little Gazas that have risen up on campuses across America and the liberal college administrators and politicians who refuse to restore law and order.
They're literally invading these encampments with police forces. What fantasy land does this fascist fuck want? I mean, they're doing what he wants. They're doing everything. The liberals and conservatives are the same. They're all liberal. They're doing exactly what the conservatives want. They're just like not wearing Klan hoods while they do it.
And to protect other students. These little Gazas are disgusting cesspools of anti-Semitic hate.
Alright, I'm done listening to this. This dude's such a giant pussy bitch. Fucking dumb cunt. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of censoring it out of my mouth. What a fucking dumb little bitch. Huge pussy. I'm so fucking sick of it, dude. Yeah, it looks like an SNL skit. God damn. I just don't understand it. What are they trying to say? I guess they're trying to say that everyone who's anti-Israel is anti-Semitic. It's not even remotely true. So Asmongold, someone who... why are we letting content creators have a say? People who are not traditionally political, why are we letting them just spew horseshit all over the place? Ugh, man. Look. He titled it Fuck Around and Find Out. Suck my ass, dude. This dude would kiss a cop on the mouth. Go ahead and do it. This is going to be such a clusterfuck of an episode because I'm going to edit this all together. I don't have much to even talk about. I really don't. The stuff I want to talk about is way too political because I don't want to talk about it right now on a public episode for very specific reasons. And it's like... why is Adderall trending? Oh. People are criticizing Adderall users? What? Oh my god. Y'all, the whole reason this podcast is such a struggle is because I don't have any ADHD medication. I have to drink energy drinks all the time. Dude, this is going to be such a wreck to edit together. I mean, I will literally upload a really short episode if I have to. You know, I did a review of a Star Wars show. I talked about a couple useless things. This is such a nothing episode. The big